Hello, everyone out there, to all my shipmates out there. Welcome to another edition of Snipes Castle, the U.S. Navy Sailors Podcast. All right, how y'all out there doing today? Joining me today is a shipmate of ours, because we was all in the Navy. Most of us that are watching, and what a treat for y'all today is this is shipmate that joined the Navy in 1989. 1989. Most of the people we've been interviewing, they're 2000 and on. But I got some shipmates coming on that joined the Navy 1989, even later than that, right? But the funny thing about it is, um, you know, we got all this technology available to us to reach out to people. And I just thought to myself one day, hey, there might be a group, the USS Kidd, USS Kidd, DDG 993. Let me go check it out. So I go check it out. And oh my gosh, I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. This group was here all this time. And I just discovered this group last week. All right. All this technology, because we came of an age that there was no cell phones, there was no internet. All right. So it just came to me, look for the USS Kidd group, and there was a USS Kidd group. And lo and behold, my engineers were on there. I couldn't believe it. And did you know they said they had just had a meetup? And I was like, I would have gone through, I would have taken leave, I would have done anything to go to that meeting to meet my shipmates down there, from the USS Kidd. Oh my gosh. When they told me that, I was so upset. But I reached out to a lot of them. We have a lot of them on here, and you'll see the differences from the Navy then and the Navy now, and we're going to go through what I call our top 10 list of things that we did in the Navy then or where NOB and which are not available to, sailors now, when I retired, even now. But I want to bring this young man in. We ain't young no more. 1989, right? All right. But he's a GSM snipe. All right. He joined the Navy in 1989. Uh, and his first ship was the Rodney M. Davis, which is FFG 40, which was stationed in Yokosuka, Japan. So he went right overseas right off the bat. Came from Yokosuka, Japan, went to sea school, got stationed on the Kidd. The Kidd, you wait till we start talking about the Kidd, man. The Kidd, the Kidd shaped everybody. I'm telling you, boy, that ship was amazing. That's all I can say about that right now. But you'll find out. And then afterwards, he left the Kidd, went to a short duty as a Master at Arms at TPU Great Lakes, and then he went back to the same ship. There's only two people in the Navy I know that went back to the same ship. It's GSM2 Scott Beutler, who I'm going to talk to not right now, and another GSE1 named Stack. He came back to the Kidd, and I was like, when he left the Kidd, I was a fireman, but he came back to the Kidd. I was a second class. He was a first class. I'm like, what the hell are you coming back here for? But he came back, and Stack got out too. He's like, yeah, I had enough. But yeah, he went to the Rodney M. Davis again, never watched him, and then he honorably discharged. So Snipes Castle going to welcome our shipmate, former GSM2 Scott Beutler, to the show. And here he goes, Scott
Hey, everybody.
Beutler.
Thanks for having me on, Daryl.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But how's it going?
It's going great. It's still, hanging in there,
Hanging in
doing
there.
life.
Man, like I said, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. Like I was saying, we got all this technology, and they never thought to me once to put in. Let me see. There's a USS Kidd group. Like going there, I'm like, oh
there's
my god.
there's actually like two or three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I went on there. So Chief Lang James, Chief Andrews,
yeah. Luganville.
Luganville, Bourne was
Yeah,
on there.
yeah,
Hutchison. I mean, I was
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
all of them was on. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do is we could do an overview of your little short career. All right, we do a little
Okay.
overview. Where you originally from?
I'm from the Seattle area, Pacific Northwest, big Navy town. My dad was in the Navy. A lot of my neighbors were in the Navy. So I had mentors that kind of said, "Hey, the Navy's a pretty good deal. You get to travel the world." And I heard nothing but good things from everybody that was in the Navy. And actually joined the delayed entry program when I was in high school. So a year before I graduated, um, I entered, went to do the whole thing at the recruiter's office and sign some papers. Didn't do the MEPS paperwork yet, so I was just in a delayed entry program. And they took us around to do some things. We got to go see the Blue Angels, up close and personal, have lunch with them. I got to sit in one of their planes. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. Everybody wanted to be a pilot or something, after
Yeah.
Top Gun, and I really did want to go into the aviation field. However, when I did go through MEPS, I was diagnosed with a color blindness, so I couldn't
You,
couldn't
I
do that
remember
stuff.
that. I
So
remember when you
yeah,
came on
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah, I was color deficient, so I had to pick a different rate, and I actually had to get a waiver to be a GSM because the color coding of valve handles and stuff like that, I guess I didn't see it as that important compared to wires on a airplane, So I ended up picking gas turbine systems mechanic, because it was kind of to do with aviation, same principles in the engines, a little different, but yeah, uh, went ahead and got into went to boot camp. Left my beautiful home here in the Pacific Northwest and went to Great Lakes, and did the whole boot camp thing there in the middle of summer, and it was pretty
Yeah,
miserable.
and boot camp, they was still cussing you out in boot camp, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they were testing us out. Um, I went on light duty early into boot camp, so I didn't get mashed. Make a sailor hurt, or that.
Yeah.
When they mash the hell out of you.
Yeah, mash, yeah.
And, yep. I rolled my ankle, so I had bruised ankle for like a week and a half. And boy, once I was off of light duty, though, I got called up to the office, and boy, I was the only one being mashed in front of the whole company. It was horrible for like an hour and a half because they're like, we got time to make up for you. I had to do all that. I'm a bug. I'm a bug.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. If you screwed up, you were a bug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What kind of bug are you, Beutler? I'm a cockroach. I don't know. Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah.
was kind of humiliating, but it was that character building thing, that they do, and
Oh
weed
yeah.
people out and see what they can take. And yeah, I think I got punched in the stomach a couple of times too.
You
So
know what, man? I know we started out with like 80 something people. And then by the
mm,
time by the time we graduated, it was like maybe 60 something there. So it's like, man, there's people like drop life.
yeah, yeah, we had a lot of people asthmaed and set back on different things. So yeah, it was a big competition, just trying to make it to graduation day.
Yeah.
Keep your nose clean. I was kind of outspoken, sarcastic person at the time, and I needed to be put in my place, and a little discipline went a long way. So sometimes, but yeah, did that whole thing in the summer, and boy, it was a lot different from the weather that I was used to. And man, I don't know. I had sweat all the time there. It was is nuts. Is
Yeah, I didn't even know to get that hot up there in Great Lakes, man. I was like,
Yeah,
golly, like,
it's that
I was used to the
humidity
South, but
thing.
man, it was hot out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember making the windows get a little bit of
Yeah, condensate,
condensation
sweating and
on.
stuff. Yeah,
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 from
mash you into the
everything
window,
getting
start
there.
sweating.
Yep,
It's like,
yep,
oh, we
yeah,
almost there, we almost there.
yeah.
Kept going.
Breathe heavier.
Do you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it?
So
Yes, sir.
that was a lot different from the lifestyle that I was accustomed to, and it was a real shock. So
Mhm.
military life, from what I was used to, yeah, I was. Oh boy, it's on. Here we go. This is real. So, um, but
So,
after that, I went
mhm.
straight over to NTC Great Lakes and was ready to start A school. And I got over there and I checked in, and they put me in a galley company.
Yeah, I remember the galley company. That was where Snipes Castle was at, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we were in a it was a vacant quarter. You know how it was. There's 4 different barracks there on each corner of it, and we were in kind of a vacant one, so where it was kind of storeroom. It was horrible. It was like we had to get this thing put together and livable, and it really wasn't that livable. Oh my god, it was like
Yeah, yeah. When I
we
got
should have
there,
had a week to prepare that place to even get people in it, but it was like, here you go. It's yeah, everybody was scrambling just to find a comfortable place to sleep, and then we worked in the galley a lot. Um,
yeah, man, I remember the galley company. I remember it like it was just
I
he's like,
thought,
yo, you're
I
going
was
to the
like, yeah,
galley
I'm going to
company.
A school, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
no,
Oh,
you're gonna go work in the galley.
like the galley.
Yeah,
I skipped service week. I skipped service
yeah,
week
I
because
did that.
I couldn't swim. I couldn't swim, so I had to
Uh-huh.
go to the pool. So I skipped service week in the galley. And
Oh
then I
yeah,
got there. I was like, man, the galley company. I was like, oh
yeah,
my God. Waking up, what, like damn 4:30 in the morning or something? It was some
yeah,
crazy
yeah. We
time.
were up before everybody else, getting the galley prepared, and then, I think we had a little break after lunch, and then we were back for dinner. And it
Yeah.
was horrible because we didn't really have liberty.
No.
You couldn't wear civvies, that was a big
Yeah.
thing too. So you'd have to
Yeah.
go out in your Cracker Jacks or something like that. And that just wasn't a safe place to do that because, boy, you were spotted a mile away. You were a
People getting rolled
booter,
outside the gate.
Oh, yeah. And, those places that sold you film for a lifetime and those scam
Yeah,
places.
yeah, the scam, please.
So,
You getting
yeah, I got
duped.
sucked up into one of those things, and I was like, no, and they're, oh, give them the red carpet treatment. I'm like, oh shit, looking at my back on on the way out, like I just wasted 3 hours trying to get me to sign up for Film for Life, and I was like, no. And but anyway, yeah, got through with that galley company, and moved on to the A school, and yeah, that was when everything kind of started clicking, and we had more people in the rate. I felt a little more at home, kind of calmed down a little bit, and learned what I needed to learn in A school. I was a kind of a bookworm, so
Mhm.
I had to buckle down and do that, and a lot of guys were getting in trouble for underage drinking already. Uh, there were plenty of
Yeah,
people.
that's where you start at. Hey, school.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you get together with different people from different backgrounds, and oh yeah, we used to party and da, 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 and then they try to do that around there, and just it's not like coming home to your parents. You sneak in at 10:30 at night, and you're okay. You have people up all the time, and they're all aware, and it's like you
Yeah.
come in across the quarter deck acting stupid. You're gonna get in trouble. So a lot of people do that, and I got into a little bit of trouble with that kind of early on, and but it kind of like push it to the side. You're doing good in school, so we kind of overlook this one.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. So kind of got that a little early on. But yeah, I got through A school and had advanced operators training as well. It was console training. I was a push button, so I signed up for 6 years. I got the third class out of A school.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So when I went in, they were really low on the GS rate. There was a lot of cross rates in our A school. We had
Yeah, the
MMs,
PTs, the
PT,
MMs, yeah, that's what they were crossing
some
over.
ENs too. They've
Yeah.
been to the fleet, so it was kind of cool to get them kind of as mentors as well. Telling us what the fleet was like, and being able to talk about that. And there's a lot of anxiety about that. It's like you get these stories, you're like, oh my God, it's not really
Yeah.
like that. you know, yeah. The
Yeah,
origin of the sea story.
yeah. They tell you stuff like, oh my God.
Yeah. There's rats in the bilge and all
Bilge
kinds of
rat? What's a
stuff.
bilge rat? Yeah, they attack you when you're down there. I'm like, oh gosh.
So yeah, I went through all that, and they were actually starting to, people that were excelling and got really good grades. Got to take the second class test, but since I had like a little Chiefs board thing on my record, I wasn't able to do that. So they were, kind of picking people out just to fill in the rate. There were some
Mhm.
guys that came out of A school that were second class, and
Damn.
before they even went to the fleet, I've seen a
Wow.
couple of these guys later, and shoot, they're chiefs. I'm like, man, I just made second class. uh, but
Yeah, that's when it is like excel. I mean, you basically just took the test and bam, you was there.
yeah, it was crazy. It was our rate was really wide open, and
Yeah.
but yeah, after that, I got my orders to go to Japan. Rodney M. Davis as FFG 60, but yeah, we uh,
So did you choose to go overseas, to go to Japan, right? You could choose. They didn't
no,
just
I
say,
chose
"Here, you
like
go."
Australia, some dream stuff that I don't even think we had ratings there.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
I
we
was like,
didn't.
yeah, I'll choose
Yeah.
Australia. The Hawaii shore duty. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah,
The
no,
dream sheet.
yeah, the dream sheet. I didn't get anything close to what I asked for, but that's okay. I took what I got, and I was excited. Started studying up on Japan, got the fodders thing, and started learning some phrases and whatnot. But yeah, they said I wanted to. Since I didn't go home when I went through A school or between boot camp and all that. I had all this time built up. I had like a month of time, so I wanted to take 2 weeks. And they're like, "Oh, you can only have 7 days because your ship's getting underway." So I was like, "Oh man, I'd really like to spend some more time with my
Se-
family." And
7 days from Japan to United States and back.
no, they gave me 7 days of leave after I left A school. When
Okay,
you
okay,
change
okay.
duty stations, usually people take
Yeah,
leave and,
yeah.
go home or whatever.
Hmm.
And I tried to, I saved up all my leave to
Yeah,
that point and I didn't go home for Christmas. I didn't go home after boot camp. So I just kind of did my thing and saved up my time. And I was like, oh, I got, a month, I'd like to go home for 3 weeks. And they're like, oh, you got 7 days, and your ship's getting underway. So I get over to Japan and I get to the ship and it's in dry dock. And I'm like, when are they going to flood the dock? And they're like, well, we just got here 2 days ago.
wow.
It's like, no. Oh no, So I was kind of excited to get underway and everything. And no, I was in port for the next 3.5 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Doing half days. What we
Yeah.
called half days was 12-hour days.
12-hour day shift.
Yeah, it was a half day, that's half a day. They said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be working half day." So I'm like, "Okay, great, that's awesome."
Half day for everybody else except engineer.
No, a half day was 12 hours, it's half a
Mhm.
day.
Yeah.
You get paid 24/7 when you're in the Navy.
Yeah. Oh
So
man.
yeah, I kind of got over there, and it was a culture shock for me too, because being in a different country, and oh, it was a little crazy. But the shipmates on the Davis really showed me around, got me acclimated, and showed me where everything was that was on base. And base was pretty cool over there. It was a beautiful, beautiful country too. We got to get on the trains, started learning the trains and going to Tokyo, and you know clubbing and stuff up there was pretty crazy. And but finally we started getting ready for sea trials and all that, and workups and oppie and all that other good stuff. So
Oppie, yeah. They call
yeah.
it today they call it Mob E. They
Okay.
call it the mobs mobility unit test, something like that. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, OPIs, operational propulsion plan exam. That was
Yeah.
way back in the day.
Yeah. So getting ready for that was, drilling twice a day,
Yeah.
doing GQs,
Hmm.
just doing all the evolutions that you don't do every day. It was, practicing all that stuff and getting proficient. Um, it kind of got me in another mindset where I was, kind of at school and underway. I'd bury my nose in tech manuals, try to learn stuff, and get ready for advancement. And I think my mouth kind of stopped me from that, because you know I, I still wasn't, my sarcasm, I didn't have it in check. Uh, it just, it got the best of me sometimes. They just, there were more straight arrows on that boat, on the upper echelon, the chiefs. And the MPA was a little bit different. He was, cigar smoker walking through Central, smoking a cigar.
Yeah, when they could still smoke on the ship.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
y'all out
Well,
there
he
able to
couldn't. No,
smoke on the ship.
he was the only one that could smoke on the ship.
Oh, yeah.
In Central anyway. He's like, whatever. But he we were doing drills once, and it was getting really, everybody was just kind of pissed off, tired, a
Yeah.
little drained from it. And he called me a whistle dick over the 2JV, and I hollered back at him. I said, "If I'm a whistle dick, why don't you blow me?" And that did not go over. That didn't go over so well, because Chang was sitting in Central,
Of course, of course.
my chief, my first class, and a lot of them just laughed. In the MPA, he really got into my shit in front of everybody. But after it was all over and done, we were at a bar, and he was like, Beutler, that was the best comeback anybody ever had."
Yeah,
I was like,
the things, they gotta, show
yeah,
their
he's like,
rank,
"You got me, you
and
got
then
me,"
later on at the bar, it's like, you got me good.
Yeah, he's like, but
Oh man.
yeah, that it was just those kind of things. I'd be a straight player and everything, and then just my mouth would get the best of me. And so I kind of, the first time I was supposed to go up for second class, they were like, "No, you're not ready. You're not ready." And then two other guys, got to take it, and of course, they advanced, and they were,
Yeah. Oh, they wouldn't let you take it?
no, they wouldn't let me take it, because I wasn't qualified as a PSM. My attitude needed a little check in still. Um, I don't know.
Wow. Hmm.
I was still a teenager. I was a big kid, I was 19
Yeah.
years old, thought I was,
Yeah.
invincible, still didn't get it through my thick skull sometimes,
Hmm.
uh, finally, just moving on from there, we did a lot of, being in Japan, we did a lot of touring to like the surrounding countries, that a lot of people would only do on a pack cruise or something. So we
Yeah.
were like always down in the Philippines because like yard work or any kind of small availability period was so much cheaper there than in Japan. So we, go down there for a couple weeks every year. Um, and whenever we did exercises out, it was only probably about a 2-day cruise away. So, we went there quite often, but, places like Singapore, Hong Kong, Korea, those were weekend trips to us, or
Hmm.
out when we were doing our little exercises or whatever. And, so felt blessed to be able to visit so many places that not a lot of people got to except for on their cruises. And it was, we go for a week at a time. And a lot of other ships were in there for 3 days and they're out. so, it was kind of cool to be able to experience different countries like that, having a little extra time. um, I always tried to, when I was overseas, I always tried to get on at least one tour when I went into port somewhere, see something new, see something different. um, We also
Yeah.
had a lot of volunteer stuff where we would go to, like in Thailand, we went and worked at an orphanage. In the Philippines, we did some Habitat for Humanity type stuff. That was always a really cool thing for me too. So, just to get out and learn about the community there and the people, and they were really appreciative. And that was really rewarding to me too.
Hmm.
When I was in A school too, I did kind of going back here. I volunteered and did like I tutored kids in school. We helped them with arithmetic, reading, and stuff like that. And I'm actually still friends with the kid today that I tutored. So over
Really?
this,
Wow.
yeah, over this Facebook thing, he actually
Uh-huh.
sought me out, and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool, and went back and had Thanksgiving dinner with him
Oh, that's cool. That's
about
cool.
6 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
that's neat.
getting to know people, or, I've got friends, still in different places in the world. Um, I was a skater when I was a kid before I came in Navy, and I was actually on a skate team in Japan. We had a skate shop outside, right outside the base, and used to skate around with all the Japanese kids out there, and they taught me stuff, and I taught them stuff, and getting immersed in everything, and it was really cool being there, and boy, it was like I blinked my eyes twice, and it was time to go.
Yeah, because
Is
after that, I guess 6 years you had C school in your
hmm
contract, right?
hmm
Yeah, and you didn't want to
and
leave. You didn't want to leave at that time, did you? Did you want to
no, I
leave
had
or?
actually I got married. I married a Japanese gal, and she was a businesswoman. She, did her thing, and she worked, and we had an apartment out on town, and um, well, it was kind of established, I guess you could
Yeah,
say, and it's like time to pull up roots and move on. And so I went home on leave and went to go check into C school, and I was told to come back the next day. So I was late, and they actually got me in a temporary room at Great Lakes, and I went to check in the next day, and I'd been drinking the night before, and I smelled, you know, and they're like, "Hey, you're 3 days late," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, I was supposed, I had leave, and before I left, I had extended it like an extra 3 days, but that wasn't in my paperwork, and it smelled like
Yeah.
alcohol. I was pissed off, and I ended up getting in trouble, and
Oh, God damn. You
yeah, I
just
got
checking in.
alcohol.
You already in
Yeah,
trouble.
so I didn't even get to go to C school, Daryl. I went from a DRB and I got pissed off in my DRB. So I went to captain's mast.
Oh, you said, oh my gosh.
I went to captain's mast and I had just made second class too. I wasn't frocked.
Yeah.
And they busted me down to fireman. They made
Holy
an example
hell.
out of me. And yeah, there was a big thing going on at service school command, and they were cracking down on like anything and everything, and there was so much trouble. There was fights in the helm club or whatever it was
Yeah,
over
yeah, yeah.
there, and there was just all
Dang.
this. I didn't know what was going on. I walked into it, and then I was the example.
Yeah.
But I probably lost my cool too much, and I just couldn't stay silent. I'm not one of those people. At that time, I wasn't one of those people. I just couldn't keep my mouth shut. I'm like, this is bullshit in the middle of everything, and I was like, and at the DRB, I was halfway through it, and I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, and I walked out.
You
Like, man, I
walked
gotta
out of
piss
the
myself. But, so yeah, I kind of got into trouble with that. So I really wanted to get back to Japan, but now with the disciplinary thing on my record, they wouldn't let me go back to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So I was upset about that. Everything all the way around, it was like everybody was against me. There was like nobody like, oh, well, we'll figure this out. It wasn't like that. It was, oh, you're in deep shit, from
Mm-hmm.
why? So anyway, yeah, that error led me to just kind of not giving a shit for a minute,
Yeah.
So I got sent to TPU, and they didn't know what to do with me for a while, and I was like kind of in TPU for almost a month, and I'm like, what's
Like in
going on
limbo.
here?
Like in limbo.
You guys need to get me some orders. And I think that was on a Wednesday, and I had orders on a Friday, and uh, I left. I came down to the Kidd. They were like, "Oh no, your ship's getting." They tried to tell me the same exact thing about the Kidd as they did about the Davis. They're like, "Oh, you need to go straight to the ship. It's getting underway." And I got there, and the Kidd was down in I think Newport News or something like that, the
Yeah.
shipyard. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Are you kidding me?" You guys were already floated. I think you were in dry dock, but I think you weren't coming back. I think for another week or something to the naval station.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally got on to the Kidd, and I'm walking on the ship in my whites, and I got fireman stripes and 2 hash marks.
Yeah, because we never seen nothing like that before. It's like, how the hell they got 2
Right.
hash marks? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
we
and I
went to
came
math
down to
somewhere.
berthing, and everybody's like gathered around. So I got a little bit of a rack,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Holy crap, a fireman? Where are you? What you been to the fleet? It's like, ah." Like, yeah. Then even then, it's like, yeah, my mouth got me in trouble. It happens. And so yeah, joined the Kidd crew. Uh, that was pretty. It was different from being on the Davis. It was a lot bigger. Being a destroyer, having
Mm-hmm.
2 engine rooms, and instead of the diesel generators, now we actually had the gas turbine generators
Uh-huh.
that we were responsible for. So I read a lot about them, but it was like, and then once I got there, it was kind of cool to get to actually work with those. Yeah. think Luganbiel, he was like qualified to do all kinds of stuff that the tech reps were
Yeah,
qualified to do. And
because
yeah, we got
he came from Simmer. Yeah,
yeah.
Luke came from he's actually came on board when he's the second class and he was working on the engines. And that's when we first met him. And he said, I'm coming to the ship. I was like, cool,
Yeah, I remember doing like lighthouse seals on one of my first jobs was doing lighthouse seals on the turbine on the
Uh-huh.
Allison 501K 17s or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to actually get to work on the engines because the LM 2500s, you did very limited work.
Hmm.
So that was good to get on something where it was more about our rate. So
Yeah.
and learn more. So yeah, getting there, I kind of put my head down, kept my mouth shut, and tried to do my Excel thing, and it's just keep my mouth from getting running away from me. And did a couple of times there too, but not as bad as I kind of learned my lesson. I made it my way back up to second class in just a couple of years there. Um, Went from fireman to second class there, and yeah, that was really cool crew. That we had our
Yeah, man. Was you there? You wasn't there for that you came on, I think you came after the shipyards, right? When we
yeah, it came right after that. You guys had just gotten back to Norfolk
Yeah.
Naval Station,
Hmm.
and I checked on board the day you guys came pierside there. So I was on board for those workups, that OPI. Um, then I think we did like a Com 2X with the Eisenhower group, working up for the Adriatic Sea and Red Crown.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Red Crown.
Yeah, I
That's
still
when I
got
was
Red
like,
Crown patch. The
yeah, man.
Masters of Maverick.
When man, you never think about that stuff when you're young, to buy this stuff, memorabilia from those times, Red Crown patch. You got a USS Kidd shirt.
I actually got this off of Facebook.
Really?
Those ads they pop up. They're like, "Oh, you
Uh-huh.
looked up this. That. Oh, you need this."
Yeah.
Kind of doing
I
all
need
your
to get
thinking
me one.
for you.
Yeah, I need to get me one. Yeah, man. But the kid, woo. Yeah, I remember we going through that inspection. Me and Chuck Cicero come down there to do drills on you, and you was pissed. I, I remember that. I remember that. He's
Yeah,
running drills
sometimes,
left and right.
I remember I got a sunburn. We did a ref tray in
Yeah.
Gitmo.
Was that the
And
time the boilers went down and then
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah. There was a leak in one of the heat exchangers and we were getting seawater in there. It took a long time to find that, and we had like the rainmakers on the pier. Um,
yeah.
so we did a lot of our ref tray import, which we did some of it underway until that happened. And
Hmm.
so I think we were there for a couple of days before we even started and doing the in briefs with the ref tray team and all that stuff. And I think we had like a picnic or something. And I was out in the sun and I got really sunburned, and somebody had come and like patted me on the shoulder, and I was just like, oh, fuck. And it was Hill, and I got
Yeah,
so
hell.
upset at him for like just touching me. I'm like, dude, that's the. Yeah, and I looked like a lobster, uh, and you know, uh, I don't know. I'm sorry if I got upset at you guys for something really stupid, because sometimes that's what happened. Just the tipping point. Sometimes it'd be something so small,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
but
man. Hey, Butler, so did you end up bringing your wife over?
I did. I brought her to Norfolk there, and we lived just off base. I could probably walk to work. I actually rode my skateboard a few times, but yeah, I was over on like Myrtle Avenue, just over by some pub in the Food Lion right outside of base there. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
she So yeah, and teaching her how to drive was was another challenge of life, because Japan is like totally different. Everybody, but got her a little Geo, so she was mobile, and
Yeah.
she finally, she got a job. She was working at a little sushi joint out there.
Hmm.
She really liked the people because they were from Japan, and she actually had a little community of people that went to Old Dominion University,
Hmm.
some Japanese students there. That she was able to have a little piece of home, but you could tell she was really homesick,
Yeah.
uh, and
Yeah.
once I did leave the kid and get back to Great Lakes, I went on shore duty from the kid, and went to back to Great Lakes to TPU as a master at arms. imagine imagine that. So I was in charge of all the restricted people. I wasn't in charge. I was just one of the crew. We had like a chief master at arms, and then
Hmm.
uh, which was an actual master at arms, and then different rates filling this billet as a master at arms, marching these restrictoids around, and
Hmm.
getting them to chow and making sure they're getting to their appointments and sending them out on work parties and stuff like that. Um, that was a kind of a bust for me. I was just trying to get back to the West Coast,
Yeah. Working your way back west.
and that was the way I could do it. There was
Hmm.
no billets open for instructor at A school or C school or any of that. I don't know if they would have had me anyway. Some of my friends were that I had gone through school with and met up in different places out in Norfolk and whatnot. They had ended up there too, so it was like, that you get those people that you cross paths with more than once, which was pretty cool. Seeing old friends in different places. Uh, that got me in trouble too. But being a master at arms when I was there, they kept me on. I got put on the mid shift, like the mid watch, I guess. It's there
Uh-huh.
from 10 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was hell for me. That wasn't. I would have rather been on a ship, because you got 50 or 60 kids getting out of the Navy that don't give a shit, and you're trying to tell them what to do, and they
Yeah,
just.
yeah, yeah.
I was like,
What more are you gonna
whatever,
do to me?
okay. I was like, you guys go pick up trash on base. Just get lost. It was more like just out of sight, out of mind, type of stuff.
Did they have wear like an armband saying that we were restricted or something?
No, they did not, but they had it on their IDs, sticker on their IDs, which
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
that doesn't stop them from doing anything. We had people doing all, just acting fools. It's just nuts.
The asylum.
There's, but it was almost like you'd have to coddle them, to uh, get them to do what you wanted, and that wasn't my style either. So it was just um, pretty much just get lost for a while. But then I got in contact when I was out there with once I started working days. Was after a couple of years. I got in touch with the people at Habitat for Humanity, and I was bringing those guys off base and helping people build houses, and they really enjoyed it. And it kept them moving and doing
Mm-hmm.
something and staying out of trouble. And it kind of did that the same for me. Um, Kind of got the okay from our CEO to do that. They were really hesitant because, oh, these people are flight risks. They're going to leave. They're going to go UA. I'm like, they're
Yeah.
staying here today, you know. So I mean, if we give them something to stay here for, something rewarding. So that was kind of cool to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting divorced from my wife when I was there.
Oh,
It really took a toll on the both of us, especially working the nights, and
yeah.
grew apart. She was lonely. She was missing Japan. Uh,
Yeah.
she was like, the people here are rude, you know. Well, the people over there are really, really nice. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
what to
Yeah.
say, you know. Um,
Welcome to America.
yeah, and yeah, I think it was part of me drinking alcohol too, because
Mm-hmm.
I just in the mornings I get home and I couldn't sleep during the day.
Mm-hmm.
It was really hard for me to sleep during the day, so have to get a little Jim Beam in me just to sleep, and that's all I did was um, sleep and go to work and drink.
No.
It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really a good lifestyle, and I don't blame the Navy for that because I could have made better, healthier choices. But looking back, that hindsight's 2020. So yeah, that was a little bit sad part of my um, thing. I was kind of depressed and drinking all that stuff, and just working nights and sleeping during the day. That takes a toll on a person's body and mental health too.
Yeah.
I just didn't recognize it and just kind of had a little small fall from grace there, and finally got my shit together though, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make the most uh, of what I got. I've just had a big loss, and I was in a new position, and finally, getting my orders to come back out to the West Coast. Things were starting to clear up for me, and uh, I was like, awesome! I'm gonna get going, get to go back home because
Mm-hmm.
I got stationed just up the street from where I live. We're pretty
Yeah.
much about an hour away.
Back
Uh,
on the Rodney and Davis. They did a
Back on
home port
Ronnie and
shift.
Davis, they
They
came
did a
from
home port shift.
Yokosuka and they re-home ported in Naval Station Everett, and yeah, it's back in the Northwest. I met a gal before leaving Great Lakes, and you know, uh, it was after my other relationship had ended, and I had some time there. I was, I was a little bit wild in that, and just kind of carefree and not so much carefree as careless, you know. And yeah, the girl that I met, she got pregnant, and then I moved out. Then I moved out to Everett, and we had a long distance relationship for a while, and she finally had my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and we ended up getting married a little bit after that. She had come out and uh, had visited me out here on the West Coast, and she loved it. She loved the weather, loved the scenery. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like freezing cold in the winter there. We'd still have our winters, but and yeah, had a daughter now. Had another new wife,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, just trying to do the things, get back to where I was, and being on the ship was good for me. A little more discipline than what I had there at Great Lakes. Being staff was one thing, but being part of the ship's crew, you're at muster every day. It's different.
Yeah.
So I needed that routine back in my life, and it was good for me. Being gone was really hard for it's hard for any family. I don't know how a lot of these people that are long term relationships that do it. So yeah, that was part of the reason for me finishing up my time on the Davis and getting out
Well,
in
what was the
2001.
trigger? 2001. What was the trigger that you decided to say, hey, I'm not going to go 20 years, which is the standard retirement, and you said, hey, I'm going to get out.
I think there was a bunch of different things. For one, there was family, but I actually ended up getting out with some medical problems. I had gotten into a car accident when I was back in Great Lakes,
Oh,
and
okay.
my it was while we were taking somebody from the brig to the correctional center down in Chicago, and I had separated my hip,
Wow.
came out of socket,
Mm-hmm.
and really screwed me up. And I got a TBI when I was on the Rodney M. Davis, and my hip popped out of socket again.
Oh,
But after I got my TBI, which is traumatic brain injury, it's a little bit worse than a concussion. But I got migraines for probably the first one after it happened lasted over a week, and then they were sporadic, um, mostly to do with stress and stuff like that. And
mm-hmm.
being in the military, that's stressful, and
Yeah.
sometimes, so I could trigger headaches, and that was really holding me back from a lot.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then the hip thing, the second time that came out, the doctor was just like, it's going to come out easier and easier.
Yeah.
That's
You
why it
going up
popped
the
out the
ladder all the
second time.
time.
Is
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't just relational, and I really would have loved to do 20 years. I didn't have that much time left. I had done 12 years,
Yeah.
um, but it was time to get out. And I think that every time that just before I reenlisted and was thinking about getting out, everybody's like, "Oh, you're not going to find a job out there, and know, this is the place, and you're not going to find anything better than this, and all this stuff." But once I got out, I think it only took me a week to get a, a really good paying job.
Mm-hmm.
I was making more than the CO on the ship. I worked for a Austrian uh, generation company. uh, GE ended up buying them, but their
Mm-hmm.
generators ran off of like natural gas, and they could run off of dump gas like methane and um, sewage gas and stuff like that. And I was just traveling all over the place doing that and having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there I was traveling again, but I wasn't gone for more than a week at a time, and most of them were like 2 days here and there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad on the relationship. I was making good money and supporting the family, and
That's always good, making that money.
yeah, making that money. I mean, I lived a lot more comfortably after. you it was just it was hard to budget for a family when I was, my wife at the time uh,
Yeah.
wasn't working, and we had a child, and of course my parents were down the street, about an hour, so we'd go hang out there on the weekends and stuff like that. But yeah, once I got out, um, went to the VA and stuff like that, and got rated. So um, I do collect a small check for
Yeah.
my injuries. It was a
Mm-hmm.
medical thing. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So it sound like all right. You doing? Are you still working for that same company?
No, I ended up leaving that company. I was a contractor at the time for a
Hmm.
hospital up here, and
Yeah.
GE bought them, this little Austrian company, and then they kind of parted out to different distribution places around here. And my center was in Salt Lake City, and they wanted me to move to Salt Lake City, and just bought a house like 6 months prior. My wife was in college; she's going through college. My daughter's in starting kindergarten and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I'm not moving to Salt Lake City. And the one place that I did come up here and service in my area, I was looking for a boiler guy to come and run their boilers. And so I went and now I'm at a hospital, and I've been there 19 years this year.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right.
But
All right.
I kind of went from boilers. Now I'm refrigeration.
Okay. All right.
So
So
yeah,
you still in there. All right. That's
yeah,
good. That's
still
awesome.
kind of a
That's awesome.
trades. You know,
Hmm.
I'm an A ganger now.
Yeah, A gang. So what I want to do, you know, is I want to go through a top 10 list from the 90s Navy that people don't, that they're not aware of, the things that happened on NOB or that were in the Navy at that time. And I want to bring in a surprise shipmate of yours.
Uh, oh boy.
Oh man. Bringing in the man himself, Senior Chief Andrews, Richard
Oh
Andrews.
wow.
Hey, how you doing, Beutler?
Hey, good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just chilling out.
Right on.
It's been
Good
a
to
few
see you.
years. You
Yeah,
too.
it's been some years.
Yeah. I hear you. That sounds like you're doing well for yourself.
Pretty well, yeah.
Good
Um,
deal.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
man.
come a long way since that loudmouth punk I was, you know.
Hey, same here, man.
Took a few
Yeah,
knocks
yeah.
on the head, but I get it
I've
now.
been I've
It's
been
like,
there too.
yeah,
Yeah,
right on.
I was telling Daryl that I have memory issues. So your top 10 list, I'm probably just going to listen to most of it.
Right?
I'm serious. I
I
can't remember
really,
shit.
yeah. There's a lot of hazy stuff in there, and I heard other people talk about some stuff or reading on some of the message boards, and I'm like, oh really? What the? Oh yeah, oh no.
Yeah, yeah,
I blame it on the synthetic lube ball. They sent me
Yeah,
out of the same.
yeah. Hell, I haven't seen a ship or a shipyard since 2005, man.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that
man.
23,699 though. Yeah, for sure, Daryl. That synthetic lube oil. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, y'all remember when we was on the ship? All the boatswains, there was so many boatswains mates that we hardly ever went up topside to do topside preservation. Y'all remember?
Yep.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Now, now there's so few boatswains mates on the ships that everybody goes up and does topside preservation
Oh
now.
geez.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You like a
Fun
boatswains
stuff.
mate now. It's like so minimum man now, and it's crazy. All right. And I remember when I first got on the ship, you could smoke on it when you say just the MPA smoking and CCS. I remember everybody mustering used to in the mornings after quarters go on the mess decks and they used to smoke on the mess
Hmm.
decks. And I
Yep.
remember the overhead was so yellow with smoke stain.
Central Control is the same way because we used to smoke on watch down there,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It used to be crazy. A lot of
and they
people
had
don't know.
the they
Yeah,
had the butt kits at the they had the butt kits in the passageways. Remember?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. The butt kits and the passageways. And I was like, wow. But yeah, they kids there. Yeah, we used to smoke on the ship. Now it's the smoke deck. Can't don't even think about lighting up a cigarette
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, for
anywhere
a
As
while
else.
long
there,
as
they
the
tried to
smoking
completely
lamp
get
is
rid of
lit.
it.
Yeah, yeah. I remember they used to have the vending machines. They sell smokes in the vending machine and the
Yep.
freaking the ship store, and then of course you had your little black market down in the Bourbon selling cigarette packs for people that really needed them.
Yep.
Yeah, because they never had Newports on the ship, and that's what I smoked was Newports.
Yeah,
And I'd always have to go to the exchange before getting underway.
yeah. Everybody had that.
They
Dang,
had the cools,
the
but
cools.
not the
Yeah, they always had the
Newports.
cools. Yeah. You remember the Navy Exchange coming on the pier, and it were to be passed. Hey, Navy Exchange on the pier. You can go down there, buy your snacks or whatever.
Oh
Even
yeah,
at
the roach
laundry
coach.
services,
Yeah,
come on
Yeah,
the
the old
pier
mobile
for you.
canteen.
Yeah. Everybody's go to
Yep.
mobile candy. They don't have that now.
Wow.
I remember when I first used to stand on the pier and pier watch and dress whites. They didn't have guns and all this stuff. They was in dress whites at the pier.
Yep.
Shoot, now they locked and loaded. I mean, they locked and
Yep.
loaded. They're in flak jackets, bulletproof vests. I mean, like it's crazy. But yeah, it's like dress whites when I first got there.
The world's a crazy place now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's gotten bad.
Yeah. Remember, usually the Kidd was usually parked on Pier 4 or Pier 5. And, everybody come in the morning. I mean, that parking lot used to be packed. And then, everybody coming late. And then, you're trying to, everybody E6 and below trying to get in the chief parking. And then, you had massive arms going around the parking lot, checking everybody's sticker. And then if, use E6 below, they scraping off your stickers and stuff.
Yeah,
they ain't like that. They ain't like that no more. Shoot. E6 and below park out wherever everybody park wherever they want to now. They don't even got chiefs don't even got that privilege no more.
Wow, that sucks.
The signs are still there, but anybody can park in there.
It's
you have
not enforced, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that I wanted a shore duty billet going around scraping people's stickers off. They don't even got those billets anymore.
Yeah, I still remember when the like the XO, CO, CMC, they all had parking spots right on the pier in front of the ship.
Mm-hmm. I was going to get to that one. The CO, the XO, the CMC. You good. I'm glad you brought that up. They used to park on the pier. Park right there on the pier. Yeah, not anymore. They park they're not allowed to park on the pier anymore because of force protection. CO bringing the bomb to the ship or something. But yeah. I mean, it's on lockdown now. Yeah, I remember that. They used to always drive through the pier. Y'all remember, like around the sub piers, like Pier 1, 2, 3. You had sub piers right there. Mm-hmm. There was almost like a little laundromat there / Navy Exchange where you both buy snacks, and even they sold beer. They sold beer out there. People used to go out there and have liquid lunches.
Shit, I used to grab a 12-pack on the way home every day.
Right there on the pier. They didn't believe me. I was like, man, I remember the BMC on the Kidd and his 2 BM1s. They used to go out there. They used to get toasted and come back. And man, they used to put them semen to work out there. I was like, man, them dudes drunk, man. Yeah, but beer right there on the pier, right there for lunch.
Go out there and drink a 6-pack at lunchtime and go back to work.
Yeah, go right back to work, man. Yeah.
Well, dang, I'd only drink 2. I only had a half hour.
I had all kinds of time. I was a chief. I had plenty of time.
I know.
That's just because you guys took such good care of me.
There was you said 2. Now when you go out to, you go on a cruise, there's a 2-drink minimum for everybody. You can only drink 2 drinks when you're on a cruise. When you're out there, going to other countries, you're only allowed to drink 2 drinks. That's it.
2 drinks?
2 drinks.
While you're on Liberty?
while you're on liberty.
On Liberty?
When you overseas and you're on a cruise and you stop in the foreign port, you are only allowed to drink 2 drinks.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
And Senior Chief, guess what your liberty expiration time is? You are to be on the ship, even if you don't have duty, at 2 a.m.
That's when all the fun just starts.
Yeah, they ruined it, man.
They
ruined it.
Back in the you got 2 drink minimum, and you got to be on the ship by 2 a.m. They ain't
2 drink minimum or 2 drink maximum?
2 drink maximum. Sorry, 2 drink maximum.
No.
Maximum.
Wow. And who's monitoring you on that?
You know, when I was on the ship, if you even vomited, because some people can't hold their liquor. Say you just went out, you had something bad to eat, you vomited. Oh my God, you drank over 2 drinks. Bam, you go to captain's mast.
That's crazy. That's not right.
It's crazy.
Nope.
I'm serious. Basically, if you go out there, and you get drunk, they taking not only you, but they taking your whole liberty party to mass. So you got, if you in a party of 3 and 4, all of you going to mass, and it's you go talk to each and every one of you. And my CEO famous words was, "I'm going to hammer the dog shit out of you if you go to mass." And most definitely he did. It was crazy. But that message came out, 2 drink maximum, and you got to be on the ship at 2 a.m.
So how long ago did they start that?
That was when I on my last ship. That was 2013 and on. There was a message that came out. I mean, a naval message came out saying that there was a 2 drink maximum for everybody in the fleet because of the incidents that were happening and whatnot. And then they suspended the liberty because there's a terrorist in every freaking port.
Right.
But yeah, man,
that's crazy.
They cracked down.
That's just getting started.
Yeah, that's just getting started.
And I'll take doubles.
You're like, damn, man.
That's not even started yet. Are you kidding?
There was an article out a couple of years ago about how the Navy had pulled into Iceland and they had a bunch of Marines and the Navy on there, and they drank the whole island out of alcohol. The whole town.
I saw.
Oh wow.
That's just like, all right, that's the little guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but that's out there now. Now, of course, we come from this age now. They all connected. Y'all remember all them phones on the pier we had? You had to go out there to make a phone call.
Oh yeah.
Don't need that anymore.
They don't need that anymore. Remember all those little bars outside Norfolk base? You had your little girly bars and all that stuff out there.
All the dive bars.
Yeah, all the dive bars. They all gone now.
Wow, they cleared all that out too, huh?
Keep off the grass.
Yeah. Even that, they basically was trying to wipe out all the clubs out of Norfolk. I mean, they're trying to get rid of every single one of them. Really, only clubs you can find now are basically in Virginia Beach now.
Oh, geez. That's
Well, I don't know if either one of y'all ever went to Charleston. Have either one of y'all ever gone to Charleston?
Oh yeah.
Because back in the early days, when I was first in, one of the ships I was on pulled in there, and people actually had signs in their yards that said "Sailors and dogs stay off the grass."
Yeah, that was in Norfolk too.
Yeah, wow.
I'm from Charleston. That's where I'm from.
Oh wow.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm from Charleston. I finally, of course, when you're in A school and you got your dream sheet, I was like, man, I'm going to Charleston. And then, and I knew it got to be something because everybody in that class pretty much got Charleston. And then they sent me to Norfolk.
Except for you.
I'm serious. That was great. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
We don't want you too comfortable.
Yeah, I want me too comfortable. I've been right up the street. My home right up the street. Y'all remember getting paid on the ship, no direct
Oh, yeah.
deposit,
Yeah.
getting your whole paycheck in cash at dispersing.
Yep.
Sure
Count
did.
it out right there at the table.
Sailors walking off that shit with thousands of dollars in their pocket.
Yep.
And like I was saying, all night liberty, no 2-drink maximum. You go out there, hey, just come back when you got duty. Make sure you're in one piece.
Come back when you got duty.
Go out and have a free-for-all for about 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Get a hotel room.
I'm sure Scott knows what I'm talking about because he was stationed on the West Coast for a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember y'all remember y'all hid the fireman. Y'all hid the fireman under the MRG during inspections. I remember you hid the fireman under the MRG
wipers.
during inspections.
Wipers.
So they could come out and do the wipers.
The whole inner
And,
bottoms.
and disappear, like we ain't had no leaks or whatnot.
I remember that.
Yeah, that not anymore. It's zero fuel leaks and controllable lube oil leaks. They don't go for the firemen under there no more.
Yep.
What else? G's for transfer and coming to how about y'all remember that yard? Yeah, it was a rough yard period we was going through. Y'all remember that rough yard period we went through? And,
what year was that?
Man, I can't even remember the year, but we was like taking off all the freaking flexible hoses off the ship. That may be.
I do remember that. Yes,
you remember that?
I do.
I remember fixing all those Derbyshire things on one of the Hophams.
Yeah,
those things leak so much.
Yeah, the leaks on the Derbyshire.
Trying to get that thing, trying to get that Hopham so it wouldn't leak oil. Jesus, it took forever.
That was near impossible.
It was like taking those things apart, and we didn't have the right spanner wrenches to take the things off. So we put a rod in there and beat it with a hammer to loosen up those things, man. I was like, come on, man. What are we doing here? Let's buy some new ones. No, we got to just replace the rubber inserts and they'll be fine. And it's like, oh boy, I think there was like 8 of them or something just on one Hopham, and they fit together so weirdly. It was like, oh man. Yeah. I think that was stopping us from an oppie for a minute there.
Yeah, it was. It was crazy.
It was major.
Yeah, them things used to pour oil. They used to pour oil. We was always filling up the CRP sump on that.
Yeah, that was a shitty design.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then senior here in the Kidd we was talking about it a little bit when we was in ref trade down there and the boiler's going out. And he actually said I never knew why, and I remembered his name. It came off the top of my head. Lieutenant Berkheimer was the chief engineer at the time.
He was the one they took off in a straitjacket.
Yeah, and I always wondered why. I didn't know he was hiding the logs, and the SEAL didn't know about the boiler contamination.
Yeah, all that shit happened because of me, because I caught him. I actually took the logs out of the Chang's hands and walked straight up to the commanding officer and told him what was going on.
And then I remember they say Lieutenant Berkheimer is not the chief engineer anymore.
Yeah, it was that was within about 2 hours of me reporting on board.
Yeah, and then he left, and I think who became the Chang? I can't even remember who became the Chang.
I can't remember what his name was.
I remember. Yeah, I can't even remember who it was, but I remember we had
Lieutenant Armstrong there for that was on the Davis. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. I can't even remember who was the Chang.
Yeah, I remember he was an LDO, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I know he was an all right guy though. I know.
Yeah,
I remember the MPA though. Yeah.
Oh
who doesn't remember the MPA?
Yeah. You always remember the bad guy. You never remember the good guy, right?
Well, actually,
I got my ass chewed by him. So
his heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
He just went about it the wrong way.
Yeah. But
'Cause I know him and I used to argue all the time, and we almost came to fisticuffs down at MER1 one time during sea detail.
who the Master Chief that was there? Gosh, I'm trying to remember his
Crawford?
name.
Master Chief
the one
Crawford?
the one we used to call Taz, because he used to flip out all the time.
Oh no,
Master Chief.
I don't remember that guy.
He was a GSEC. He was a Master Chief. He was
Yeah,
on
that
there.
must have been
That
Crawford. He was.
I think you're right. It was Crawford.
I think his phrase was "Jesus fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember him. I was on the pack. I was on the pack, and him and the MP going at it with each other. I'm like, hey, this is a watch, you know. They going at it, man. I was like, oh my god. MPA just walked out. Just walked out. Boy, he's going off.
It didn't take much to get him going.
No. I remember we was running drills. I was your pack at the time. And you was always so cool. You was always so cool on the pack. You never freaking got upset. I never seen you upset. The only time I saw you upset was when we was in the yards, and you mustered us all up in the classroom. And he said, "Hey, we got to do this, we got to do that." Y'all remember Kemp popped off at the mouth at you for a little while, and then it seemed like you snapped just for like a split second. And I'm like, holy hell. That's the only time I ever saw you snap. And when we left there, Christian was like, man, was you? I said, man, was any of y'all scared? Christian was like, man, he scared the hell out of me. I mean, you snap for a split second. That's the only time. Any other time, you was always cool about everything. Yeah, I mean,
unless I was talking to the MPA.
Oh, it's cool, man. But yeah. That's my top 10. But yeah, a lot of them new cats, man. They when I got me a cell phone, I had a flip phone. Right? All these guys got this.
Yep.
Them other phones and stuff. It's like, man, you got a basic ass phone. I was like, that's all I need. All I need to do is call somebody. I'm not used to all this stuff.
Yep. Too much technology.
Yeah, man. I'm glad I found that kid group, man. I'm so sure, because they met up, and I was like, man, I wanted to come there so bad just to meet up and just check everybody out, just see how everybody doing. But they had a little meetup, and they say they'll probably get together again. I'll probably head on down there and see them, But
I'd love to do that too.
Yeah, man. Good times, man. I tell you, it's like change. Like when I first checked on board the Kidd, and our department LCPO was Senior Chief Jones, and I was like, man, I want to be like that guy right there, man. Oh, he's in his khakis all day, man. He's on his khakis all day, just chilling in the log room. And then when I finally got there, I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, right. I was down in the fields right now.
I was like, I'd rather be down on the hinge room than where that dude's at. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then especially, I think we went through a point. We had remember, I don't know if you remember, you ever look at those, Mike Mullen, he was like the CNO at one time. But we had got his son, Lieutenant Mullen, his son was our Chang at one point, and he was like, probably one of the most awesome people you ever meet or serve with, right? And then the next Chang we got was like, oh my gosh, we going downhill, right? And I that was like a challenging time right there, because basically the MPA CBWO, he was like on his retirement kick. He was out there, and I mean, you talk about a rough time. Oh my gosh. And then you realize, this is what I was dreaming about.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But hey, Beutler, seeing
Yes,
you
sir.
there, man. I really appreciate y'all coming on, man. Hey, thank you for going through the top 10 with us. I'm gonna bring you back on here, because we could go through your career. I just wanted you to come on and chop it out with Beutler. because he hadn't.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Well, I've never done this
Along.
before, so it's kind of new to me.
That's pretty cool. Thanks for having me on, Daryl. And I'd just like to tell one more thing. My top thing in the Navy was probably my thing was, we pulled into Thailand, to Pattaya, and we were anchored out, and it was probably about a 45-minute Liberty boat ride all the way around the harbor to get to where our little launch was. But I was, went up and I had my Liberty buddy with me, and we both signed the log, and I didn't have my ID, so I had to go down and grab my ID out of the berthing, but I came back up and the Liberty boat was already gone. And I was like, crap. So I went out on the fantail and I'm, having a smoke, and it's like, man, it's going to be an hour and a half before I can even catch the launch again. And this speedboat comes around, and it had this dude driving, and there was 3 topless chicks on it. He's like, you need a ride? So I run up to the quarter deck, and I'm checking out, and they're like, oh, where's your Liberty buddy? And I'm like, he's on that boat that's halfway to shore already, And they're like, okay. So they let me go down, and I got on this little jet boat thing with 3 topless ladies and a cooler full of beer. And we went and did circles around the Liberty boat, and everybody's like, they couldn't smoke, they couldn't drink. They're all kind of packed on this boat, and I'm sitting here having a cigarette, had a titty in one hand and a beer in the other, and everybody's just, man,
That's West Coast for you.
It was just that, the timing and opportunity, getting the silver lining out of something that shitty happens.
Yeah. Hey, before we go, y'all want to shout out any shipmates out there, old shipmates? Y'all want to give a shout out to anybody?
Geez, the whole crew of, on my ships, there's there's so many names that I can't remember, but, just, being on the ship with everybody and being friends and shipmates and, confidants and, it was so much more. We were all like brothers, it was more than friendship. It was more than, it was like, it was a brotherhood. And I appreciate everybody that was, that I made contact with, not only in our division or in the engine room, but, throughout the whole ship. I made a lot of friends. I learned a lot. A lot of it was hindsight. Looking back, I'm like, oh God, I don't spend too much time doing that. But yeah, everybody, Luganbio, Bourne, Cicero, Tim Jackson, all those guys, man, they really made it worth it. Ando too.
Ando, yeah.
Ando, Camacho, a couple other ones. There was a lot of good guys, man. A lot of different people from different places. Learned a lot. So yeah.
How about you there, Chief?
Do you remember John Langjans?
Yeah, I just
He's actually in the group. Yeah, he's actually in the group.
Yeah, I messaged him.
Yep.
Hey, but I and I said it in the group, and I also, I'm serious. Chief, me and Cicero watched you. A lot of people watched you because the way you operate, and I took a lot of what I saw from you with me.
Well,
I'm serious, and one of the things you did, I think was you never degraded anybody in front of anybody. You never talked down anybody. And then, when you went to, when you had to, chew somebody out, I remember in CCS all the time, they used to walk into CCS and they get, kind of smart mouth, and you say, hey, come on, let's step outside for a second. And y'all would go out the door to CCS, right out the door to CCS where the supply comes up right there. You go out there, talk to him, do whatever, and then you come right back on watch. And it was all good and stuff. I swear, I took that with me, and that's why I admired you so much. I'm telling you.
Hello.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
just a few minutes.
Yeah, I always tried to set the best example I could for you guys.
Hello.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I'm telling you, you did and we took that with us.
I appreciate it.
Chuck's
I would
sister.
like to run
Yeah.
into Chuck again too. I'd like to see him.
Yeah, he went dark on Facebook. No messages,
Yeah.
no nothing.
Wow.
I tried to. His wife was on LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn, but they go dark. They like I
Yeah.
said, they from that time where nobody really used the internet.
Yeah. Well, really, the only person that I actually stayed in touch with over all these years has been John Langjans. He retired as Master Chief.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I messaged him, so I hope to get in contact with him. All right.
Yeah.
But hey, I really appreciate this time, y'all taking the time out your day and coming on and talking with me. And
Absolutely.
it was
Thanks
good
for inviting.
talking with you. All right.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I enjoyed it.
All right. Hey, y'all have a good rest of your day. Hey, let's stay in touch, and hopefully we can all get together, share a beer
For
together,
sure.
and have some laughs. All right.
That'd be great.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Take it
It's
easy,
great to
y'all.
see you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you, Chief.
Hard work, work, hard work, work, work. Hard work, work. Hard work, work. Hard work, that's what they say. Hard work, work. Hard work, I earn my pay. Hard work.